second stone here behind us. Robert Lyons gave his life for the unity of our country at the young age of 21. He enlisted in Mercersburg and was assigned to one of the first all-black regiments, the 54th Massachusetts Infantry, Company I, in the United States Colored Troops. On July 18, 1863, just weeks after the Battle of Gettysburg, the men of the 54th received the honor of being selected to lead the charge in the second battle against Fort Wagner on Morris Island, South Carolina. They continued to fight amid heavy casualties, showing resolve and determination in this horrific battle against a strongly defended position. When the sounds of war quieted, of the 600 men, more than 280 were killed, wounded, captured, or missing and presumed dead. Corporal Lyons was among that number. Despite this 42% decimation, the 54th valor catapulted them to fame, silenced the doubters, and paved the way for more black enlistments and regiments, soon making up 10% of all Union forces. Now, if this sounds familiar to you, that is because there was a movie made about it back in 1989, Glory, starring Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, and Max Lord. But what Robert Lyons experienced wasn't a movie. It was a real experience that he died from as a consequence. He is presumed to be buried in a mass grave there among his fallen brothers in arms. Earlier this year, when we first learned about Robert Lyons, when Bob Resig, raise your hand, Bob, he reached out to explain to us that he and Jeannette Molson placed a white marble memorial stone here in this cemetery to honor Robert Lyons' service. And they chose this place because two of Robert's brothers are buried here. William and Edward Lyons, both sergeants in the 25th Regiment, United States Colored Troops, settled here in Fayette Township after the war. The Lyons are among Jeannette's ancestors, and she and Bob have been placing stones on unmarked graves of Civil War soldiers for 2 decades. Jeannette also sent family here. Want to raise your hand? So Jeannette is one impressive lady. She is a family historian. She's a published author. Before retiring, she held a distinguished career at the University of California and was an editor and officer of the U.S.C.T. County Historical Society. While she did visit this cemetery in 2007 with our then president, Bob Winder, she couldn't be here with us today because she lives in California. So she asked me to express her gratitude, is here with us in spirit, and has sent a family in her place. Thank you for coming today. In addition to the Lyons brothers, this cemetery is also the resting place of other soldiers of the United States Colored Troops from the Imes and Russell families. In fact, the Historical Society's database of Civil War veterans contains the names of at least 24 other United States Colored Troops veterans throughout the county. Now, without further ado, to lead the memorial, please join me in a warm welcome to our favorite bucktail reenactor turned pastor, Sam Leister.
Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to serve this way. No, I'm not a Civil War veteran. Even new fifth graders oftentimes think I am when I speak to their classes. But again, on behalf of the family, on behalf of Robert and his brothers in arms, I bid you all a fair, wonderful, warm welcome. And I will begin by moving toward Robert's stone. I hope the sound system's still picking me up. Everybody can hear me. And it's not a lavalier that I sing. We're still good?
Still good.
Okay. I tend to be a hands-on speaker. And yes, pastor now, but I speak to you representing Civil War veterans, representing. And again, thank you to the Veterans Council for bringing this part of the service today. Every stone that you see in this cemetery and every cemetery indicates a person, a real person. Sometimes 2 or 3 names are on them, but it's a real person, and we often lose track of that. A living, breathing, loving, and being loved, and so was Robert. Loving and being loved. And we see by the stone, Robert joined the fallen in 1863. And I can't help but ask, Robert, did you have simple pleasures growing up in the mid-19th century? Did you skip stones on a creek somewhere, go fishing, get a chance to go swimming? I don't know if he had time to do that, but I'd love to ask. Did your brothers pick on you, or did you pick on your brothers the way brothers do? Did you have sisters? Did they pick on you? Sisters always pick on brothers. We know that. Robert, did people call you Bob or Bobby? Did you have a special nickname? Maybe Doc or Stump or something. I just want to ask you, Robert. I'll call you Robert. And growing through young adulthood, I can't help but ask, did you find a special sweetheart to share your life with, share your dreams? And when you left for military service, did you say goodbye to that sweetheart with the full hopes that you'd be returning? Because someone of your age doesn't expect to never come back. What work did you leave behind when you volunteered? What were your dreams? Not only the sweetheart, but others also. What was camp life like? I know from reenacting, with my reenacting, I know I'm going home Sunday or Monday. You didn't know when you'd be home, and you never got home. What was it like in camp? With your brothers, perhaps? Or others from your home? And you were with them in Massachusetts. What stories and tales did you love to share as you sat around the campfires? Did you talk about home? About that sweetheart? Just want to know. As a corporal in Company I, what was your training like? What was it like to sleep in an A tent with 3 other soldiers in July? Did you have company streets on those hot South Carolina summer nights? What was it like? Did you sleep campaign style without the tent? Oh, Robert, only those who have experienced war and combat know what you experienced on the day, the afternoon, and the evening of the 18th of July, 1863. Few can imagine what that devilish fire was like. No more of the breaking waves of the beach could be heard. The sea grasses were splashed with blood. Over and forward onto the sandy works to face the murderous fire which swept you down in its terrible ire, and your lifeblood went to color the tide. And so you joined the great fallen in 1863. I hope you died quick, and I hope that you died clean. Oh, my dear young corporal, was it slow and obscene? At the very next roll call, Cyrus Drew, the orderly cried. Here was the answer, loud and clear, from the lips of a soldier who stood near. And here was the word the next replied. Corporal Lyons. Then silence fell. This time no answer followed the call. Only his rear man had seen him fall, killed or wounded, he could not tell. Our brave lad, he sleeps in his faded coat of blue. In a lonely, silent grave lies the heart that beats so true. No more the bugle calls the weary one. Rest, noble spirit, in thy grave unknown. Years later, John McCrae wrote in Flanders Fields, we are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. All who have been to war in combat have their own Flanders Field for their fallen brothers, their band of brothers. Abraham Lincoln, a few months after this battle, which took Robert, said in part these words, we have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that this nation might live. It's altogether fitting and proper that we should do this, but in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far and above our poor power to add or detract. We trust in God that Richard Lyons, in his final resting place, as we say, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, we have come to dedicate today this memorial on this field in order that generations to come shall forever remember and commemorate his sacrifice for his regiment, his fellow soldiers, his people, his country. As Lincoln said, in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. Men like Robert have done that far and above our poor means to do that. In closing, Joshua Dyer in 2019 penned these words. 1,000 men are walking side by side, singing songs from home, the Spirit as their guide. They walk toward the light, my Lord. They walk towards the sun. They spoke and laughed and smiled together, no foes to overrun. These men live on forever in the hearts of those they saved, a nation truly grateful for the path of peace they paved. They march as friends and comrades, they do not march for war. Step closer to salvation, a tranquil, steady core. Meadows lit golden beams, a beacon for the brave. The emerald grass Now, gentlemen, please remove your hats and everyone place your hands over your hearts as we turn the ceremony now over to our veterans.
Refreshments over here. Come see our friend Andy Winder. And our county museum opens on June 1st. Please join us and please drive safe.